Why did the Western Roman Empire fall? If you would ask a bunch of ancient historians this question, almost every single one of them would give you a different answer. Not only on why, but also on when or even if the empire fell at all. But we won't step into this minefield of different theories and just look at some of the most plausible reasons for why the Western Roman Empire stopped existing in the 5th century AD. Political instability. The time of wise and powerful emperors was mostly over after the Antonines. To be honest, the Roman Empire shouldn't even have survived the crisis of the 3rd century, that saw at least 26 different emperors in a 50-year period. But rulers like Aurelian, Diocletian and Constantine the Great managed to strengthen the empire once again at the end of the 3rd and the beginning of the 4th century. The 5th century, unfortunately, didn't bring forth any emperor strong enough to stop the empire's eventual demise. Instead, most of the frequently changing rulers were living in the shadows of great military generals like Stilicho and Aetius, who were the ones truly holding the empire together. But they never really received the appropriate recognition for their work, since they were of Germanic heritage. Next to the emperors being weak buffoons, administrators also were mostly crooks, which is why actually skilled people stayed away from politics. Economic struggles. High inflation destroyed the middle classes, which created a big divide between super rich landowners and the majority poor population. The poor masses were also those who were hit hardest by the high taxes the emperors needed to collect to secure, mostly through military expenditure, their very uncertain standing. In return, the poor population had to lend money from the rich landowning aristocracy to pay their taxes, which created a fundamental dependency relationship that should transform itself into medieval feudalism. Military problems. If you wanted to be a Roman emperor in late antiquity, you had to have the military supporting you. Too bad that the Romans, unlike in the Golden Ages, were no longer interested in military honor. But guess who still wanted to fight? Germanic mercenaries. At first, they fought under Roman generals, but especially after the Battle of Adrianople in 378, foederati, which were entire Germanic tribes or kingdoms, were hired to wage war for the Romans. In return, they oftentimes received the right to remain inside the Roman territory. The main problem with this system was that those foederati were always perceived as alien and barbaric, which resulted in Romans and the barbarians having very different objectives for the future, instead of working together. Environmental changes. Between the 3rd and 5th centuries, the climate started to increasingly fluctuate in Europe, oftentimes causing crop failures, which led to famines and depopulation. Depopulation that was further enhanced by plagues like the Antonine and Cyprian plague. This created space that was of high interest to many Germanic tribes from the north and east that got displaced by the Hun invasion starting in 370 BC, which was the cause of the migration period. This period is sometimes referred to as the barbarian invasion, but that gives people the wrong idea in my opinion, as if the barbarians overthrew the Romans overnight, despite it in actuality being a very slow and gradual process. But when so many Germanic tribes pushed at the Roman border, which was defended mostly by Germanic tribes in the first place, the border could not withstand the pressure. The Romanized people throughout the empire adapted themselves to the new situation, and equally changed and were changed by their new neighbors and rulers. To name a date on which the Roman Empire ended is hard, and many different options exist. But the most popular one is the year 476, when the last Western Roman Emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was dethroned by the Germanic king Odoacer. The attempt to summarize the fall of West Rome shortly was very difficult, because there are just so many facets to and theories about it, which is why I encourage you to learn about it yourself, because let's be honest, it's really fascinating. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Bye bye!